How to use debt to your advantage 2021. At the beginning of this year, the Colombian state continues to borrow in international financial markets to keep the economy afloat and to finance subsidy programs in the midst of a pandemic. In March 2020, each Colombian owed an average of $5.6 million on account of the country's high external public debt. In September, that indicator was already above $5.8 million, and it is possible that the year ended at $6 million. On the side of direct debts from citizens, the situation is not very different. Although in the last 8 months about 2 million credit cards have been cancelled or returned, the advances in cash represented reached $13.7 billion in 2020, according to figures from the financial superintendents. In general, Colombians continue to get into debt and the economy operates at half speed due to the loss of millions of jobs and companies and businesses that succumb in the midst of this crisis. These conditions prevent many citizens from being up to date with their obligations. These are the recommendations of some experts. 1. Make a budget. It is already known that it is something that is always repeated, but it is key to put yourself in the task of doing it. This way you will know what you are spending on and how much money you have to pay what you owe. The result is the money you have to pay for credit or credit card expenses. For its part, Solve Your Debt, a fintech of Mexican origin that is an expert in repairing debts, ensures that the following is the ideal formula to correctly manage the monthly budget. 70% of what is received must be allocated to basic needs, food, rental, transportation, services. 20% goes to paying debts and the remaining 10% is what should ideally be saved month by month. 2. Goodbye to unnecessary expenses. In order to get out of debt and stop affecting your pocket so much, you must be very responsible and constant. Set a goal of reducing these expenses by 10%, advises the corporate manager of the Gyroscope Group. 3. Prioritize your debts. It may sound difficult, but it will help you. Create a list of all the debts you have, what you owe and the time in which they must be paid. Gyroscope indicates that one way to get out of them is to start with the smallest. Short goals that can be met to remain motivated to get out of debt. 4. Go to the financial institution and request help. If the debt is already too high and unsustainable and you cannot afford the payment, ask your financial institution for advice. For example, request to redeem your debt, which will extend the term to pay it and the monthly fee will be lower. There are many tips and advice, but really knowing how finances are being the task of each one. Being consistent on this front can lead to success for any citizen. Highlights of debt recognition. It is only the debtor who can carry out the recognition of debt. The creditor will benefit from the declaration made in his favor, but he will not be able to take part in its realization. Although the acknowledgement made verbally is valid, it is recommended that it be documented, contract, a public deed, etc. The agreement will state the details of the debt, amount, if it is money, date of delivery of the debt, and place of delivery, among other aspects. We must also mention the importance of expressing the cause. Cause is synonymous with the origin of the debt, that motivated the debt in the document that recognizes it. The recognition of debt contains a double benefit for the creditor. On the one hand, the debtor admits that there is a previously acquired debt, and on the other, he assumes it. Not only does it acknowledge its existence, but it is also linked to the obligation to pay for it. We can see how the act of recognizing the debt speeds up the collection process. This is because it is not necessary to discuss or debate the origin of the debt, if it has been for an unpaid or collected sale, an unpaid work, etc.